If you're like me, a small Amazon seller who can't afford an Amazon tax service or software, I think you're going to appreciate the content in this video. I'm going to show you the Amazon documents you need to provide your tax preparer and where to find them in Seller Central. Hey, this is Rochelle and welcome to Multiple Passive Streams of Income. Now, the first document you need is your 1099-K. This is the information that Amazon reports to the government. Now, be advised that Amazon does not create a 1099-K unless you've made more than $20,000 in unadjusted gross sales and more than 200 transactions in a calendar year. So, if you haven't reached those numbers, there will be no 1099-K created. If you want more detailed information about 1099-Ks, I will include a link in the description below. If you meet that criteria for a 1099-K, in Seller Central, you'll go to Reports, Tax Document Library, and if you have 1099-Ks, they will be available to download from the Tax Document Library tab. Now, some footnotes here. Tax documents are usually not available until January 31st of that tax year. And if you are a U.S. seller selling in Canada also, you will find your 1099-K for your Canadian sales on this page also. The next important document you need is the Amazon summary document. I swear, it took me like 3 years to find this document, and I found it by mistake. And it's going to give you most of what you need for your tax preparation. I looked at so many YouTube videos about Amazon taxes, and not one video mentioned this document. To get this document, go to Reports, then Payments. From the Payments dashboard, go to the Date Range Reports tab. Choose the Summary Report type. Choose Custom, so you can enter the dates for the report, and you're going to enter the from and to dates of the calendar year, and then click Generate. You will then be able to download the summary report as a PDF. Now let's take a quick look at one of my summary reports for 2021. As you can see, the report date is at the top. The report is broken into 4 sections: the income section, the expenses section, the transfers section, and the tax section. The income section shows the total of your FBA and non-FBA, aka FBM, sales, plus any credits minus any refunds and rebates. The expenses section details all the fees that Amazon deducts from your income, which includes the selling and FBA fees. The transfers section is the money Amazon pays out to you. And lastly, the tax section shows the taxes that Amazon charged customers that bought your product. Now, great for us Amazon sellers is that Amazon is required to charge the required tax, collect the tax, and pay it to the government on our behalf. And most states require Amazon to charge and collect taxes, which is definitely better than sellers having to do this accounting. Now, some footnotes about the summaries report. Summary reports will have a lot of similarities, but can look different for each user because some users have opted to have certain expenses deducted from sales versus being charged to a credit card. You can see that difference in my US summary report versus my Canadian summary report. I ran Amazon PPC in both marketplaces, but the settings in my Seller Central in Canada had the ad costs deducted from my sales, and the settings in my Seller Central in the US had the ad costs charged to a credit card. Another footnote here is that if you sell in Canada too, be aware that the summary report is reported in CAD, which is the Canadian dollar, versus USD. like the United States Summary Report. Next, you're going to need to go through your credit cards and receipts to find other expenses that are outside of Amazon to give that to your tax preparer. Here's what my expenses were in 2021, which I organized in a spreadsheet for my tax preparer. These expenses were inventory costs, shipping costs, software fees, Helium 10, merchant words, courses that I bought to educate myself, and any other costs that I paid out to run the business. Lastly, you're going to need to report inventory counts to your tax preparer. This is something that I never see anyone talk about with any depth. And more importantly, how do you find this information in Seller Central? Again, let's look at the spreadsheet I created for my tax preparer. These are my US inventory counts, so let me show you how I get the data from Seller Central. These reports use the FNSKU of your products. So to find your FNSKUs, go to Inventory, Manage Inventory, and look in the FNSKU column. If you have no FNSKU column, go to your column filter and make sure FNSKU is selected. Now on your spreadsheet, the first column is the names of my products, and the second column is the FNSKU for each product. The third column is the inventory count at the end of 2020. To find that data, I had to go to Reports, Fulfillment. On the left menu in the inventory section, click Show More, and then find the monthly inventory history report and click on it. From the Download tab, click the drop down and choose Exact Months. I only need the last month of 2020, so I request December 2020 to December 2020, and then click Request CSV Download. Give it a minute or so for the download button to appear, and then click Download to download the report. The best way to tackle the information is to add a filter to the column headers and filter by each FNSKU to get the totals you need. Because your products are probably located in many different warehouses, that's column G, you will have to filter by FNSKU and then sum the totals. So for example, I filtered one of my FNSKUs, and in December 2020, it shows I only had one item left in Canada. So by filtering and summing up each FNSKU, this is how I get the data for the third column. I only sold one item in 2020 that had 5 different color variations. In 2021, I expanded my products to sell 4 products in total, with each of the new products having 4 color variations. So let's look at how to get the data for the 5th column, which is the end inventory counts for 2021. To do this, we use the same monthly inventory history report that I described earlier. We will run a report for December 2021 to December 2021. We will filter and sum each FNSKU from this report to get the end of 2021 inventory counts. To get the data for the 4th column, inventory received during 2021, we need to run the received inventory report. So just go to Reports, Fulfillment, on the left menu in the inventory section, find Received Inventory and click it. From the Download tab, select Exact Dates from the Event Date dropdown and enter January 1st to December 31st because we want all the inventory received for the entire tax year. You will have the same FNSKU data that you will have to filter and sum up. The last data that we need is the removal and disposal data. Amazon will request inventory be removed if it is not selling well, and they will request disposals if customer returns come back damaged or product is damaged in the warehouse. So if you had any of those events happen, you'll have to get that data. You'll follow the path on the screen to get that report. Do the same procedure that I described earlier to download the report. Here's what the screen and dates look like for the removal report. You're going to download the report. The report will look like this. And as you can see, I had to remove units in 2021, and there were a few disposals as well. The last column in my spreadsheet is calculating the units sold, which consists of a formula to add column D and E. And from that total, I subtracted columns F, G, and H. If you found this content valuable, please like the video, because the more likes and comments it gets, the more likely it'll be suggested to other viewers looking for this type of information. On the screen, I have the paths to reports we discussed and some other useful Amazon reports that may be useful, but the reports I detailed in the video will probably be enough to supply your tax preparer with all the data that you need. So, to recap, I sent my tax preparer my Amazon 1099-K documents along with my other personal documents like W-2s and all the other tax documents that come in the mail. I sent her the Amazon summary reports. I sent her a spreadsheet of all the other business expenses outside of Amazon. And lastly, I sent her my inventory counts. With that, she should have all the data needed to prepare my taxes this year. Again, please don't forget to like or dislike the video, because all interaction counts. And if anyone has any other helpful Amazon tax tips, please leave a comment below. As always, thanks for your time, as I know you could be any other place right now. Take care.